Spoiler warning. Spoilers for the Suicide Squad ahead. You've been warned. Hello, everyone. I'm Wally.
This is RJ. That was a really long countdown to start. I'm sorry.
Welcome to real shit.
Welcome to real shit. This is where we talk about movies.
What an intro. What an intro. I'm reusing that regardless.
That's fine.
I'm reusing that because the countdown on the camera went 3, 2, 1, go, and then it's like all right.
Yeah, the last second definitely lasted like a whole 5 seconds.
But welcome to the new show here on Wolfgate Entertainment. As I said, I'm Wally. This is our day. You will recognize us if you have ever watched this channel and watched the podcast. We wanted to talk about we just wanted to talk about movies because we love movies.
This is the new side project going on along with the regular podcast.
Right, but so here we're going to break down movies that we've seen, and every week or every month, however many times we do it.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about a new movie, and so this week we're going to talk about the brand new movie, The Suicide Squad, not to be confused with Suicide Squad.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's called the Suicide Squad. The next one will be called A Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Brennan made that joke yesterday. I'm stealing Brennan's joke.
Me and Liz actually made that joke when we were watching it. Nice. It was quite something.
Nice. So basically, what the structure of the show is going to be, since this is the first episode, we get to explain it. We're not going to explain it after this unless I forget, and I will probably. But so basically, what we're going to do is first we're going to do a quick overview of the movie. Big events that happened. Then we're going to go into our thoughts about the general thoughts about the movie, and then we're going to go talk about our favorite quotes. And then after that, we're just going to kind of just ask questions if we have any, and hopefully one of us can answer, or maybe the future can answer.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's the excitement of it. So
we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So like I said, we're going to start with The Suicide Squad.
Yes.
You want to start with the recap?
Okay. So first off, it's a little confusing because it starts off like present day technically. Mm-hmm. And it does like a quick overview of all of the Suicide Squad. We got Pete Davidson's character. What was his name? Blackwater?
I don't know. He wasn't in it long enough.
Yeah, he really was not.
Oh God, I forgot to mention this at the top. Spoiler warning. Obviously.
Yeah. Honestly, if you are looking for movie reviews and this pops up, you should already be prepared for spoilers. So, at this point, it's your own fault.
Exactly.
Pete Davidson is the first one to die. So there you go.
Yeah, which is why we don't know his. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, if you didn't click away fast enough, I'm not sorry. Anyway, so yeah, the way it sets up is it's kind of, you're like, okay, this is a squad for sure.
And they're committing suicide.
At
some point.
Yeah. It's suicide mission for sure. Mm-hmm. Because the first thing that happens is Pete Davidson's character, I'm just gonna keep going with Blackwater until something else in my brain clicks.
Otherwise.
Right. It was Black something. But anyway, it turns out he's a double agent, and he called the
Maltese.
Yeah, he called the Maltese government or whatever, mm-hmm. and told them that they were coming. And they're like, cool, thanks for your time, get rid of them. Because, yeah. What did they say? Like, it was like 100 or so mm-hmm. of the Maltese that were there waiting for them in the bushes. Mm-hmm. It was like Vietnam. Mm-hmm. It was crazy. Pete Davidson's character goes down first, and then, I'm sorry. I went a little too fast. Backtracking a little bit. we get an intro starting off with one of the Suicide Squad members that is, the way it's filmed, the way that intro is filmed, you're made to believe he's going to be the main character.
Right.
I don't even remember his name.
Me neither. Also died in the first minute.
I mean, they all are just, they did their best.
So it's him, Pete Davidson's character.
Well, no, hold on, I'm sorry. We're
recapping.
Yeah, we gotta do the full recap.
This is the first episode, so
we're still working on it.
We'll get there.
Be patient with us.
We'll be more prepared next time. We decided to do this yesterday.
Yeah, like maybe 10 o'clock last night.
Mm-hmm.
But his character he's pretty interesting. I would love to see his backstory a little bit, just to see like what his actual, if he has powers or if he's just really good at throwing balls at certain spots. Because around his cell, you know, he's got those. He has little, like, I guess markers on different like angles on how he wants to throw. Because he's kind of like. I'm sorry. Just to preface, Wally got a new dog.
My dog's trying to get into the room and she can't. And she's frustrated, so she keeps trying to push the door in.
Yeah, so if we pause at any time and are just laughing, that's why. But yeah, he seems pretty interesting. He sounds a lot like the guy that plays Yondu in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I almost want to believe that it's the same guy, just how his face is. But Amanda Waller, you know, bitchy self comes in. I don't like her character in this movie.
No, but she's played really well. Yeah. She's very unlikable in this movie.
Yeah,
she's played really well.
I just don't. It's just, well, that's the thing though.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Recap.
I'm sorry. Off topic. Anyway, Amanda Waller comes in and is like, you know the deal, Suicide Squad, put a bomb in your head, if you go off the tracks, blow you up.
This all happens within like 20 seconds.
Yeah, this is literally like the first maybe 2 minutes of the end of the movie. And who's next?
I think she just grabbed him, explained what's happening, and threw him out.
Okay, that's right.
Where the helicopter was, and then she introduced him.
Rick Flag introduces everybody, and it's like a quick, like, this is him, her, him. And so the first squad
is
Weasel,
Harley,
Rick Flag, Boomerang, Mongirl.
Yeah, I forgot she was in it.
Yeah, she was like this alien bitch. I want to say she's like the female Mongol, or like the same kind of race. Because I do recognize her from the comics. And then not the Suicide Squad comics, but from the comics.
And then the Blackwater, you said?
Yeah,
David's character, and then the guy who we think is the main character, who again I don't remember his name.
Yeah. Also, there's the Swedish dude with a his name is Javelin.
That's right.
He very simple, very easy. Harley is in love with him because he's hot.
Yes.
And also he has an accent.
Yes, and he says that all American women love guys with accents because they don't have one.
Yeah, because they don't have.
So anyway, they're on the helicopter and they drop down into the water, and then Weasel is pushed in. And he drowns.
Because nobody realizes that he can't swim. Because nobody knows what Weasel even really is. No. They just know that he murdered, what did they say, like 27 children
something
or something?
Like that. It's like, he's harmless. I mean, he's murdered 27 children, but beside that.
Right. He's, you know. And what I thought was really funny was that they weren't even sure that he knew what was going on.
No. He was just there. Weasel was just there.
They just grabbed him.
But anyway, so they drop out of the plane. Weasel drowns. He's dead, as far as we know. And then that's when Pete Davidson sells him out, and then the Maltese government starts shooting everyone.
Literally, they do not waste any time. As soon as he comes out, they flash lights and blow his face off. Right.
So basically, everyone but Rick Flag and Harley dies.
Yeah. Rick Flag is captured. I'm putting quotes around that for the audio if there's going to be an audio. And then Harley actually is captured.
Right. after she gets the javelin from Javelin.
Right.
And what is his line? He's like, take this 2 or take this 4, and then he just dies.
Carry this 4.
Oh, yeah,
and then she's like, carry this for what? For who? I love Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie's the best.
She does Harley so good.
Amazingly.
I'm pretty sure she's the best. Well, she's the only live action Harley that I know of. The best iteration of Harley.
I like Kaylee Cuoco's in the TV show, but
it's
a different tangent.
I haven't watched that show yet.
It's a good show.
I watched a couple episodes, but I haven't watched it in full. Anyway.
So then they get captured, and then we go back to the comm station where it's like, all right, check on team number 2, and we're just like, team number 2?
Yeah.
And who's on team 2? It's...
Bloodsport, who is Idris Elba's character.
King Shark, who's voiced by Sylvester Stallone.
That was a very nice surprise at the end of the movie. I looked that up. That was quite funny.
Yeah.
Who else? Peacemaker.
Who
is John
Cena. Ratcatcher 2.
Yeah.
I don't know who played her.
I kind of recognize her from, if it's the same person, from Doom Patrol.
Oh, okay.
She played Crazy Jane.
Cool.
For any watchers that have watched Doom Patrol.
And then... Oh, Polka Dot Man.
Polka Dot Man, yes.
So that's the 5. So they're on a different part of the beach, and they get there, and they're expecting some resistance. There's no one there because everyone was down on the other side of the beach, slaughtering the rest of the Suicide Squad.
Yes.
And so they get there.
Quick note about that. So I saw something that said that Amanda Waller actually set that up herself.
Oh, okay.
And she made Pete Davidson believe, like, when she recruited him,
okay.
There was something
she recruited him knowing he'd sell him.
Right.
Okay.
Because he's in jail for that exact reason.
For being a snitch. Gotcha.
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm not sure if that's like 100%, but that was a
theory. That'd be interesting.
It makes sense for Amanda Waller's character, just because she's like
methodical and
right. Her planning is like Batman, but she doesn't give a care if anybody dies.
Yeah. The guy we thought was going to be the main character, he starts swimming away because he realized he's in danger.
Yeah.
And Amanda Waller says, "Go back," and he won't go back, so she blows his head off.
Yes.
So he's dead.
Yes. Mongrel tries to jump on one of the helicopters.
Oh, who's the guy who had detachable arms?
Oh!
We forgot about him. He was also there. It looked TD's...
The detachable kid. TDK.
That's right, TDK.
TDK.
And yeah, he died. His arms got shot to death. And then he also died. But
his power was so stupid. Because the fact that he can detach his arms and control them was cool, but it was still being able to feel everything that happens to them.
Yeah, because he's laying on the ground as his arms get shot.
Right, in pain, and he's just pathetic. And also, his ability to control his arms apparently is not that great.
No,
because he's just slapping him.
He's just slapping him around.
And I was expecting
that was funny though.
I was expecting him to like kind of show out a little bit. Mm-hmm. You know what I was surprised about?
What?
Boomerang.
What happened? He just died.
His powers actually like were cool.
He just died.
In Suicide Squad, he didn't even really have powers. He just had really good aim with his boomerang. Yeah. But it's the same guy. Yeah. So what changed?
I didn't even see him die. If I'm being honest. I don't remember that part.
So he was doing pretty good by himself. Mm-hmm. He threw his boomerangs and they had some like blue energy field on them. Okay. So they were like glowing. And they were flying a lot faster and a lot more accurate than they were in the previous movie. Sure. So I feel like during that time, if they're supposed to be in the same canon,
which we'll get to later about how they shouldn't be, but that's beside the point.
But what's it called? Something happened. I can't remember exactly what happened, but he got caught with a few bullets. And then because of Mongrel, or whatever her name was, on the helicopter, right. Mm-hmm. She tries to take the helicopter down, not realizing that, you know, they're already so low to the ground. Right. So it goes out of control. And, you know, granted, they kill like the first line of soldiers.
With the helicopter.
Right, yeah. But the helicopter crashes and it explodes. And then that is what technically kills Boomerang. But he was pretty much dead before that happened because of all the bullets.
Right. But so we're on the other side now, and they're just kind of getting in.
Team 2.
And then that's when we get the first flashback of the movie, where they kind of they
switch the
Idris
focus.
Elba, right?
Yeah, they switch the focus
Bloodsport.
to Idris Elba being
right. He's just like scrubbing the floor with a toothbrush or something.
Yeah.
Amanda Waller walks in and says, "Hey, you're going to do this thing for me, or your daughter's going to go to jail here." And she's
where I'm
going to
have her killed.
Right.
Like she doesn't say I'm gonna have her killed, but she definitely makes the point that she has that kind of power.
Right. And
I thought it was interesting that it was just kind of a throwaway line. He's in here for putting Superman in the ICU.
Yeah.
With a
That was
kryptonite bullet.
Yeah, I thought like, hold on, say that again. Hopefully that maybe sets up a movie for him.
Maybe, but I doubt it because the way that the DC
That's
is
true.
going is just absolutely horrible. Anyway,
Right. So anyway, he agrees reluctantly.
Yeah.
And then she introduces him to the team. And then they also see the secondary team. They're there, but like they're not introduced to him.
Right. They know that they're
right.
Like Pete Davidson. I thought it was really funny. Pete Davidson's character comes out while Idris Elba's
scrubbing the floor.
And he's coming out of the bathroom with something on his foot, like a piece of toilet paper, and he's like, "Here you go, buddy."
He's like, "Enjoy that."
Right.
And
just for him.
In the background, did you see Weasel like licking the window?
Mm-hmm. That was very funny.
That was good. So then, so first he's introduced to Peacemaker, and they're basically described the same way. And he's like, "Well, isn't he just me?"
Exactly the same way.
Right after she said, "You guys have all been chosen for your unique abilities,"
right.
and they have like the exact same abilities.
And they have the same backstory.
And so he's like, "Well, isn't that the same thing I do?" And he's like, "Yeah, but I do it better."
Right.
But
I do it better.
I don't know who said that because I couldn't see them.
It was it was John Cena's character. It was Peacemaker.
You didn't get the joke. Couldn't see him.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. You know what's crazy though is I couldn't see him as John Cena in that movie.
No, right? No, but so anyways, he's introduced that, and then I think it's Ratcatcher next.
Mm-hmm.
And then like she's asleep, and she says get up, and she won't, and then
it was so funny.
She's explained Ratcatcher 2. He's like, what happened to Ratcatcher 1? Oh, he's dead. And it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Which we find out about what happened with all that later in the movie.
And then she won't get up, and he's like, and Idris Elba's like, millennials.
Oh man, I thought it was really funny how Amanda Waller was just so sweet to her, as if she's been sweet to her this whole time.
Right.
But like, just immediately switched up because this movie was just so funny.
It was
so
I think
good.
actually before Ratcatcher 2, I think King Shark was introduced next. Or one, I don't know. I don't remember the order exactly, but
honestly,
then they meet King Shark, and I just like how, like, instead of going into depth, which is something I liked about this, because they didn't do this very well in the first movie, was that they just kind of said, oh, he might be a descendant of a shark god or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then they just keep going,
yeah.
Which I thought was nice, because the last one, they, like, was like, we must go into every character's backstory.
Every single one.
But here they're just, whatever.
Right, because they don't want you to get attached to any of them, just
right.
in case they decide to kill one of them
right.
off later. But
and then he makes Polka Dot Man,
right.
and then they laugh like, what do you do? Like throw polka dots at people?
And he literally
he throws polka dots at people.
Literally throws polka dots at people.
So anyway,
he's just as pathetic as he is in the comics.
Mm-hmm. So then they basically go over the plan, what's happening, and then they cut back to now.
Right, which is during the operation.
Right, and then I think, is that when they find out that Flag's been taken and that their operation...
Yes, because that's right when Amanda calls him and is like, hey, I need you to go rescue. Right.
Oh, no. King Shark tries to eat Ratcatcher first.
And
no.
No? That's during...
That's later. Oh, no, you're right. You're right.
They start heading that way. Yeah.
So anyway, so your number one mission now is to go save Rick Flag, then go to Jotunheim.
Yeah.
And so they go... They go to the camp he's being held at. I knew the books would come in handy.
Yeah, those guitars are definitely not doing anything.
No. But, so they go to the camp that they know he's being held at, and so they think it's an enemy camp. And Bloodsport and Peacemaker are like, since they know they're so similar, they get into like this whose dick is bigger match.
Yeah. Very much so.
But they do it through killing.
Yeah.
And so they go through, they demolish everyone in the camp.
It is. I thought it was hilarious how every single person.
Every person was dead in a unique way.
Right. It was an individual, like, different weapon.
Right.
Only used like one shot or one movement for each one.
And then Polka Dot Man explains why how he's able to kill, and then he imagines everyone as his mother.
Yeah.
Which we get more context for later, but at this point, and then they figure out, oh wow, he does throw polka dots to people.
Literally, yeah. It's during another camp, where they're like camping out overnight, and he gets up and you see his face, and it's all like puffed up and stuff, like
and colored,
right? Yeah,
different colors
in polka dots, basically. And if he doesn't do it like at least twice a day,
doesn't throw up essentially, yeah. It'll kill him, right?
I think he'll just explode,
something like that. Yeah.
Like the energy will build up.
It's an interdimensional virus. He explains.
Apparently, in the comics, it's literally like there's some kind of like portal in his DNA that makes up the polka dots. That's like from the polka dot dimension that's coming through him. Because
polka dot dimension.
Because I don't look, bro. The comics are weird.
Yeah, they are.
They're way more in depth than they should be on certain things, especially for throwaway characters like Polka Dot Man.
Right. So anyway, they get there and they get to Flag, and Idris Elba's character, or Bloodsport, is like, "Are you drinking tea?" And he's like, "Yeah, this is my friend." And they're just like, "Oh shit!" And he's like, "Where did you guys?" So the person he's with is like, "Where'd you guys come from? My everyone's supposed to tell me when someone's close by." And he's like, and Polka Dot Man was like, "Oh, we all just pretended she was our mother and killed her." Killed them all. And she's like, "What the fuck? That's my friends and family, you dicks."
Jesus Christ.
Oh man, the whole scene paid off so well.
Yeah.
That moment.
What was funny, what I thought they did really well was they made sure you had no idea also what was going on. You thought that they just got lucky and found an enemy camp, and everybody was just. I thought if you pay attention, like really close attention, though, you can tell they're guerrilla fighters and not the soldiers that they were fighting on the beach.
Right. But so there was that, and then what happened after that? Is that when they set up the camp, or did they do another flashback? I
think it was like another quick flashback. But I know after that they made the plan to
get to Jotunheim, or
she
set up the plan for them to get to Jotunheim.
Yeah, and she was like, "I have some more help waiting in the main
driver,
city."
right?
Yeah.
Milton.
Yeah, Milton, and then also Milton was up. I love him.
I was gonna say protect Milton at all costs, but anyway.
But yeah, she reluctantly agrees to help them out because they're
on the same side, essentially.
Yeah, they're trying to do the same thing, pretty much. Well, not really. Yeah,
they're on the same side.
At the very least, they're on the same side.
Right, and so then that's when we get to the camping trip where we find out that Bloodsport, well, King Shark tries to eat Ratcatcher 2.
Yeah,
or Ratcatcher, whatever. And then they basically they have to explain to him, "You don't eat friends." And then he says, "Oh, are you friends?" And we're just like, "Yes, we're friends." So that he wouldn't eat them.
Yeah.
And then that's when we find out that Bloodsport is afraid of rats.
Yes. Deathly afraid.
Deathly afraid of rats. And then that's when you hear Amanda Waller say in the comms room, it's like, "No one checked to see if he was afraid of rats."
That was her bad.
Yeah, right.
Also, nobody checked to see if Weasel could swim.
Swim, right. And she said the similar thing when he drowned.
Right. Well, no, that was...
someone else said that.
That was somebody else in the comm room. But, I love the people in the comm room.
That was a great aspect of this movie.
Yeah.
But, so...
They did that part really well.
They did that. And then, what happened after? They went to the city.
Yeah.
Oh, they found the guy in the van.
Milton.
Killed everyone around them.
That's right. They were supposed to... Amanda Waller filled them in on... who they needed to get into Jotunheim, who was the Thinker.
Right.
Who, that actor, I can't remember who he was, but was he not the same guy that did... Fuck.
I don't know. He's been in a lot of stuff.
He's been in quite a few things. I recognize
He's always the weirdo.
Yeah. He's really good at being the weirdo. As the Thinker, I thought that was really good. I really wish the Thinker could have been a bigger character though,
Right.
Because he's something else.
Right.
He's something else.
But
then they start heading to Milton takes them to the what is it, like a nightclub?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a nightclub, and
because that's where the Thinker will be.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be meeting with somebody else.
Right.
And then they go and intervene.
And I thought that was a nice moment where there was like a moment of camaraderie there.
Yeah.
They all kind of they all got to know each other a little
right.
bit.
Right. Everybody
it was nice. It was a nice scene. I thought.
And
apparently, it's kind of where they became a team.
Right.
You know?
Apparently, Rick Flag and Bloodsport, we find out, have actually like fought together.
They served together, right? In the military?
Yeah. I don't know if it was in the military.
But they were. I
think they were mercenaries together.
Yeah.
Because
maybe.
Rick Flag is definitely not a part of. He's had training, but he's not like.
That's true.
I think maybe.
I just couldn't.
All I know is that they were friends and they reconnected during all of that, and it was nice. It was nice to see. That was pretty cool.
They built the camaraderie.
Right, and a good team dynamic.
Right. Which is what I think they tried to force that in the first Suicide Squad at the bar after they lost it. It was just not a good scene. It didn't go well. But in this one, it went really well.
Yeah.
I thought they did a good job, and then during all that, Harley is back at the ruler's mansion, the dictator's mansion. I don't remember what his name was.
Cortez, I think. I want to say something, but it might be racist just because. I don't know. He seemed very egotistical.
Right. Right, but Harley found him attractive, and so they had really aggressive sex.
Yes.
And
all
then
over the house.
So then
she falls in love.
She falls in love, and then he basically says, "I want to now. Let's get married."
Right.
And then he starts going on some sort of like rant about like being. What did he say? About being a dictator. Did he say he was going to kill kids or something?
He said he would do whatever it took to, do whatever his goal was.
Right.
And in there he mentioned even if it means women and children and stuff like that. Harley did not like that.
No, so and this was one of my favorite quotes is if I promised myself if I ever see a red flag I was gonna kill him, and so she just shoots him. Like out of nowhere, like you don't expect it to happen.
She waits for him to tell his whole plan and reveal everything, and it's just so the way he's doing it is so methodical. I feel like she was just mesmerized, and she was just like, But then the red flag came back and was like, no, you remember the last guy. Gotta remember the last guy. Because with continuity, you would assume this takes place after Birds of Prey.
Right. Which I have not seen.
Which you need to.
Which is probably be one of the movies we watch.
We should do that. Not the very next one, but the next few. Anyway, but it seemed... It just... I thought it was really funny how quick she made the decision.
Yeah.
She didn't say anything.
Right, because it was almost unexpected. He's just sitting there explaining, and then he's just got blood. Which, by the way, is way too much blood, but it was funny.
Yeah.
It was a comical amount
shoot
of
him
blood.
In the heart.
Right, that's
because
true.
Harley is amazingly accurate for whatever reason.
Right. So she shoots him, and then while he's on the ground dying, she explains why she shot him.
Yeah.
And then the police come in, or the military come in, and basically arrest her.
Guards or whatever.
And then they do a change of power, which is like a tertiary scene. It's like, oh, you're the ruler now. So then they pretty much find out that that they're at the bar, that they're Americans. Sorry, they're Americans somewhere in the city.
Yeah.
And so they go looking around, and so we're back at the bar. The military comes in and says, "Hey, if we need to see your IDs, because we suspect there's some Americans here."
Yeah.
And so Bloodsport tells Ratcatcher and Polka Dot Man to take the Thinker, who they had gotten to at this point,
right,
via gun. I think he held it up at one point.
Yes, because Bloodsport gives Polka Dot Man the gun, which I thought was funny because he had no idea what to do with it, but he was so. I got this. I got this.
Right. So they lead him out, and they give themselves up.
Right. Also, just to clarify, King Shark,
King Shark.
Nanawe was in the van the entire time. He did not come inside. Don't worry.
Yeah.
They didn't blow their cover that easily.
No. But
it was very sad to.
Right, he's just...
I love King Shark, his character.
Me too. But anyway, so they escape into the back. They go find King Shark. What happened to them when they got caught?
At first, well, they gave themselves up.
Right, they gave themselves up.
Bloodsport gave himself up first,
right.
And then Rick Flag immediately
and that
was like,
with
yeah,
them. But then Peacemaker was like, oh, fine, I guess so.
Yeah.
Right.
So the three of them got caught.
I don't remember what happened when they got caught.
Man, what even did happen?
I watched this 2 days ago. I should remember.
Yeah, right. Man, that was like the one part that just
whatever. But they managed to get back to the team somehow. And then
what even ends up happening?
I just know they make it back to the team, and the next initiative was Jotunheim because he was in fire, and they're like, "No, wait, you have to go save Harley." And then it said Operation Harley and fire behind them.
Yeah,
that's all I remember between.
Oh no, I do remember. I kind of remember what happened now. They were in the van, and they, Bloodsport, Peacemaker, and Rick are all. They're like. They're talking shit at each other in the van, and then they all come to like an agreement, like a silent agreement. Excuse me, a silent agreement on they're ready to break out now.
Oh, that's right.
So then they just nod at each other.
Yeah.
They nod. I thought it was so funny how in sync they were with that.
And Bloodsport went on this thing about being able to kill someone with like one punch or whatever.
I don't remember.
And he like mentioned some Japanese words.
I can't even remember.
But he's like, you can kill one man with one punch, and then they nod, and then they kill them with one punch or whatever, one hit.
Yeah.
And then not Rick Flag, the Peacemaker kills the driver.
Yeah. And then he reaches through, and he can't quite reach the steering wheel, so he is like trying to, because there's a oil tanker that is headed towards their way, and so they're in a convoy because it's them and their truck, and then like the two other trucks that showed up. Right. So there's three of them. So they kill the first. They take over the first one. Take over.
The mutiny.
Yeah. It causes a crash, and they get rid of one of the other trucks because it runs into oncoming traffic. I think either that or like a truck or something like that. But it explodes.
Boom.
Big boom. And then the oil tanker comes, and John Cena has to, whittle it a little bit and try to get it as much out of the way as he can with his very short arms.
That's right, and they fly off the road.
Yeah. That's
right, I remember now.
Yeah, and then that's when the fire thing happens, and then they're like, all right, Operation Jotunheim. And they forgot about Harley, so Amanda
reminds them.
Yeah, and then they gotta go. They gotta go save Harley. They get ready. They're not all the way suited up, but Peacemaker and Bloodsport have their mask on. And like half of their disguise from the Peacemaker was in nothing but his boxers and a white beater and his helmet.
Yeah.
That was quite a sight.
So then they get this great big plan to go save Harley.
Right, and then they're like.
Meanwhile, Harley's just kind of like wrapped up in chains, getting beaten.
Yeah.
So that she'd maybe talk.
Right.
She won't, obviously, and then they'd leave her, and with one guy to guard her, and she chokes him out with his legs, and then unlocks the lock with her feet.
Yeah. She takes the.
Which apparently Brennan was telling me yesterday during the podcast. Apparently, she actually did that on the first try.
Margot Robbie.
Yeah. And then they're like, okay, we gotta film this now.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really cool. She's awesome. And then she goes on a killing spree essentially to leave. And there's a cool little bit of flower animation in there, which I thought was neat.
I was 100% sure that there was some kind of drug that she took like beforehand. Probably. That we just didn't catch her. Like she had like a pocket LSD, something that she saved just in case.
So they're about to start. So then the rest of the Suicide Squad, they're about to execute the plan. They're all in position. Bloodsport's starting to scale the wall, and then she's behind them. Saying, "Oh, you were going to save me?" And they look over, like, "How'd you escape?" And then it's Operation Jotunheim again.
Yeah.
And so they are able to get not Brainiac. What'd you call him?
Thinker.
The Thinker. To drive them there, get them all past security, and get in, and so they can place bombs and stuff like that. They go and they kill everyone on the first floor. Start placing bombs.
The Nawe King Shark has a little side thing where he gets lost in the aquarium.
I loved that. That was adorable.
Dumb friends. That's probably my favorite quote from the movie.
I love that. King Shark was the best. I love King Shark. So he's playing with them. So the Thinker brings half the group. Who's down there with the Thinker? It's Peacemaker and Ratcatcher and Rick Flag. They all go down with the Thinker.
I don't think Rick goes.
Yeah, he was, because that's how.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
So they're all down there, and they basically. First off, that was horrifying. What was going on down there?
Yeah,
like, they did really well with making everything look really graphic and
very like horror-esque.
Yes, it was really, really good, really well done.
Just the amount of gore in this movie also was just insane.
Oh yeah, they did not hide anything.
Worked, it worked very well for
exactly
what was going on.
So basically, he just explains what was going on, and then we find out that Peacemaker has an alternate,
like a subsidiarity objective to make sure that, because the whole point of it is Amanda Waller wants the Suicide Squad to go in and destroy all the evidence and all whatever project Operation Jotunheim is, because she, according to what she says, they don't know what it is.
Right.
They just know that it's a threat to America, and they're trying to get rid of it.
Right, but then they find out that it's America who's behind it the entire time.
Right,
and
because
so
of the Thinker, because the Thinker is like, you have no idea what actually is happening here.
Right, and so his not ulterior motive, but his secondary plan
is,
or Peacemaker's secondary objective is to destroy the evidence that America had anything to do with it.
Yeah, it's like specifically to ensure that it gets destroyed.
Right.
He's like a if anybody happens to go off the rails, then your job is to take them out.
But Rick Flag doesn't want that, because he said he'd rather, I guess, save people than save the U.S.'s ass.
Yeah.
And obviously Peacemaker does not want that.
Yeah.
And
he will do anything for peace.
Right, and so they get in a fight.
Which
was, I think, really well. Right, and I really like how they did it in the helmet.
Yeah,
I thought that was a really cool aspect of that scene.
That part I had a little bit of a problem with.
Really, I
just because it felt a little forced.
That's fair.
It felt like it would have been cool had he knocked off his helmet, and in like the side span of them like doing what they were doing, it zoomed in on the helmet instead of it immediately dropping, and then they go right into it. You know.
Right.
Like doing like half of the fight
in
that. It was cool. I'm not saying it wasn't.
Right.
I'm just saying the way they did it.
Now, did that fight start before or after the Thinker, or the?
So that was
the explosions.
That was the other thing. One of the explosions goes off early, and it starts like a whole earthquake through Jotunheim, because it's like this giant tower, and
it almost looked like a silo.
Yeah, it seemed a lot like it was supposed to be maybe like like you said, a rocket silo or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was converted into something else, into what it actually was.
Right.
But yeah,
so the explosions go off, and
because
that's
split,
a different part of the story.
Yeah, you got to back up a little bit though, because they split up. Rick Flag and Peacemaker go off and do their thing, and that's when they have
I think, as well.
No, because she comes in after. But they go off, and it's the Thinker, Peacemaker, and Rick Flag at the main part. Polka Dot Man and Ratcatcher they go off and set the rest of the bombs.
Right.
And Nanawe and Bloodsport are off.
And Harley, I think. Harley was there. I don't remember what she was doing. But she was with them.
Yeah, she was.
She was with them when Milton. And Milton was there too.
Yes. They were all.
But anyway, so the bombs go on, or no, that's before them. So they're with Milton and they're setting the bombs, and then the military that was in the rest of the building come out and they try to kill them. And in the process, kill Milton, their driver, who I'd forgotten about.
Yeah, up until that point.
But Polka Dot Man did not. So he's like, "Oh no, they killed Milton." And Harley's like, Who's Milton?
Polka Dot Man was very upset. He very much liked Milton.
He enjoyed Milton. But
he appreciated Milton being
right
there for sure.
Right. So then they go to finish setting bombs. One of the bombs goes off too early.
What was the reason?
I don't remember.
It was something that happened. Like
the King Shark?
No. He was still in the aquarium by himself.
Right. That's right.
That's when the whole dumb friend thing. And then
I don't remember why it went off.
It went off, and then first it causes the aquarium to break.
Yes.
Floods into Norway with the creatures that turn out to be carnivorous.
Mm-hmm. And they start attacking
very
him.
vicious, and he's very sad.
Yes.
It made me sad for him. I love Norway so much.
Right.
He is a precious baby that needs to be protected at all costs.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And then it's like flashing back and forth to the fight with Rick Flag and John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
And during all of that, Ratcatcher 2 and Harley and Bloodsport and Polka Dot Man get separated because of the
explosion, right?
Excuse me, the tremors and the explosions. Yeah, and Ratcatcher is.
She ends up at the
because of the premature explosions.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, the Thinker and the Ratcatcher are still with the.
They're in the lab.
Yeah, they're still in the lab with like the main observation lens, and then that's when you get the big reveal. It's Starro. Even though in the trailer, this was so stupid. It was the biggest thing I had a problem with this movie. In the trailer, they reveal that it's Starro. Why? We know so there's two parts of this that I have a problem with. If you're not a fan,
do you want to hold on to this until after we're done with the recap? Okay. We're still not done with the recap.
Okay, you're right. I'm sorry.
No, we're good. No, I mean this is we'll get used to this.
Okay.
It'll be shorter. Remember I said earlier 5 minutes, 3 minutes max.
Yeah,
it's
and then I immediately said
and you said also like 20. It's
how long are we at now?
40.
So
anyway, so then doesn't that break open the what Starros is in?
Yeah,
and then he reaches out, grabs the Thinker, and then pulls him in. The Thinker's like, please, just have mercy, and then the Starros kills him. Yeah, rips him apart, right?
Tears off his arm and leg, and then literally splatters him against the window.
Yeah,
it is hilarious. and then that's when more tremors start, and because the explosions and because of Starro trying to break out at the same time. So Ratcatcher is off in the tunnels of the debris, going through, and then the fight with Rick Flag and Peacemaker is,
over. Coming to an end.
It's coming to an end. Rick Flag gets stabbed by porcelain. What is it? The fucking toilet.
Yeah.
A shard of fucking toilet. That was upsetting. And then Peacemaker is standing over him about to deliver the final shot, and then Ratcatcher appears out of one of the debris tunnels, and it's like, oh shit.
And then she grabs the hard drive.
The hard drive with all the evidence.
She grabs it and runs, and then Peacemaker runs after her, and she falls, and he's over her with a gun, and then that's when Bloodsport, who comically falls through every floor, falls through every floor like a comic, like in a cartoon.
Yeah, that scene is probably one of my favorite scenes.
It's a great scene.
Cannot be good on the knees.
No.
At all. Because he didn't he just stood there and took it every single time. And how many floors was that? Like 10,
probably,
12?
At least.
It was a lot.
So then he lands, just kind of happened to land in the right place, right time.
Right.
And so then they kind of have like a face-off where they just kind of stare each other down, and
for like a quick 5-second face-off.
And then they both shoot at the same time, but as he said earlier, Bloodsport uses smaller bullets.
Yes.
And so his bullet, which I thought this was a really awesome scene, his bullet goes through Peacemaker's bullet and then kills him.
Yeah, because Peacemaker has a super Glock
yeah.
with like a.
It's like a really long.
It's just
it's weird.
The bullet is also just very bulky. It's one of those bullets that you can tell it's meant to spread once it makes impact, but
which he referred to in the camp. Remember it? He exploded with an exploding bullet.
Yeah. the actual like explosive like ballistic rounds.
Right.
But Bloodsports was literally like just like a needle.
Right.
Which I thought was pretty cool because it didn't seem like regular ammunition. Like it seemed like his own personal. All of the stuff that he was using on his suit was like his own.
Super awesome.
Super cool, yeah.
But anyway, so he kills him. As far as we know,
nicks him in the neck. And if he didn't die from that, he definitely died from being under all that rubble.
Right.
Because immediately after that, Starro breaks out.
Right, and then but they're all able to get out except Rick Flag, and I think he's dead, right? Rick Flag.
I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Because if he doesn't bleed out, then he gets like trapped under the rubble or something. Right.
So anyway, they all get out of the building, and so then Starros comes up and emits his brain control.
Well, his
Or he does something else first.
First he just
screams.
Hold on. He screams very loud, and I really like the design of Starro.
Yeah, he almost looked. It was like cartoonish, but not
right.
Unrealistically cartoonish.
Like I was gonna say very like eldritch horror-y.
Yeah,
with, like having the like mouths. Or wherever the sound was coming from on the legs, on all the legs and stuff. Yeah, and not having like a central like direction on which it stands. Like it's literally like a giant star. But
so then that's when he emits the
little
brain control little ones that could touch people's heads, and then Ratcatcher figures out, hey, cover your face, and so none of the Suicide Squad get control, just everyone else around them.
I thought it was really funny that. Once again, Nanawe did his absolute best to protect himself. And it definitely smacked him in the eye a couple of times. But
because he's a shark.
Right.
He can't, attach to your face.
His face is so big.
I love him so much.
Oh, my God. Probably the best character in the movie.
Oh, yeah. But, so, then it goes and starts terrorizing the town and getting more minions and whatnot. And so they're like... And so then Amanda Waller comes over the comms. It's like, hey, you guys are done. You guys can leave now. You've done your job. You've destroyed Jotunheim. And then so Bloodsport's like, no, I can't. I can't let this thing go terrorize everyone. So he turns around and so Amanda Waller's screaming at him, I will kill you. I will. And so then everyone else turns around and follows him because they want to save everyone else too. Right. And so she gets really close to flicking the switch, and then someone else who works there, like an intern or something, they just takes a 2x4 and just knocks her the hell out.
It's her golf club.
The golf club. Oh, that's right.
She was playing golf by
herself. Took the golf club and just whack and knocks her out.
Yeah.
And then it says, you go right ahead and you save them.
Yeah. And they immediately start giving them like coordinates and all of that.
Right.
That was another thing I had a problem with Amanda and her just
being ruthless for no reason.
Like I like her character being ruthless. Mm-hmm. That's what I love her for. And that was one thing about Suicide Squad that I liked that differed from the Suicide Squad is they really made it more ambiguous in that one. Mm-hmm. In this one, it was just so she's a bitch. Like I know she's a bitch, but like, can we make it entertaining a little bit?
Waller equals bitch.
Right.
Gotcha.
Cool. But then they start the. Not rescue, but they start to save the day,
right?
Or try to figure out how
they start killing the little minion people, but they ended up not being able to
because they find out earlier when the Thinker is like going through the he's going through the footage or whatever, and you find out that the things once it gets on your face, it eats your face, and literally, it literally like as soon as it
they did a close up on that on one of the patients. It was horrifying. But
great. It like it's kind of weird though because it's very different from Starro in the comics.
Okay, yeah.
Because in the comics, Starro, you can still save the host once as long as you don't damage them too much if they're trying to fight you back. Yeah. But
that's comics where he's got to go on for a couple volumes or whatever. But here he's there for a movie.
Yeah. Well, they also did that because in the comics it was a lot more directed towards like the main cast. Because a lot of the times it was like Justice League. The last time they had Starro in like any kind of like feature or anything like on screen was for the Justice League Unlimited.
Oh, okay.
It was like a future thing. It was the Justice League future, and that's a whole different thing. Anyway, what happens? And then
They're basically just trying to fight it off, and they figured they can't do it. And I think Polka Dot Man takes a shot, and
he does. He imagines
it's his mother,
Starro as his mother,
and it was done really well the way they replaced Starro with the exact same movements. He was able to chop part of his leg off, and then he's like, and I think a scene that delivered a lot of power was he says, "I'm finally a hero."
Yeah,
and then he immediately dies.
Yeah,
which I thought weird. And Brandon said yesterday he thought they were done with deaths at that point.
Yeah, me
from
too.
the main squad. And
me too.
Because I saw that well, huh?
Right.
What?
Because you already killed off Peacemaker.
Right.
Rick Flag. I guess if you want to count Milton, because he was there for the longest after that first squad was taken out, because everybody in the first squad was dead in the first 10 minutes.
Well, I figured they'd do the two. I mean, and that's it. And then Milton, and also Milton.
But
then
Polka Dot Man, I feel
Polka Dot Man dies.
Starro is just like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Squishes him.
And then Bloodsport uses up all his weapons, and he's eventually he can't do anything anymore.
Yeah.
And then Ratcatcher yells.
Well, first Harley is.
Oh, that's right.
Harley is like doing her last thing, and she jumps into Starro's eye.
No, that happens after this, because then the rats immediately follow in. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So she does climb up on the roof though. She's on the roof at this point. And then so Ratcatcher says. She did a quick little flashback to her dad, and I thought that was another good line. It says, and she asks her dad why rats, and he says, because even something so disgusted and hated could be useful.
That was her dad was
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, I was
going to mention that later, but I don't know if you noticed that one. And then Weasel was Sean Gunn.
Yeah, I looked.
Who was in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies too?
Yeah, he was. Wasn't he the?
He's the guy who gets Yondu's arrow. Remember at the end of it's like I think it's a mid-credit scene where he's trying to control the arrow by whistling.
He's like his first mate on the ship.
Yeah,
though,
basically.
Right? Okay, yeah. Okay.
But so she had that quick flashback, and she says, "This isn't your city. This isn't even our city. It's their city," and points her little wand at Starros, and these rats just in droves, in waves, come out of every crevice.
So many rats. I mean, you gotta remember, it is like a third world country,
right.
A dictatorship-ridden, war-torn country.
And so all these rats come out, and they all start charging Starros, and they start going up his body. And that's when Harley Quinn goes. She takes the. She says, "I know
what for."
Which I'm surprised they brought that back. That was really funny. And so she dives into Starros' eye, which is made of water, and then the rats start coming in after her, which I thought that was a beautiful scene. That was a great scene.
This movie was so artful. It did such a good job with and that part especially was just so. I like all the detail and how you could see it. It's. Even though it's a giant alien, it's still a giant eyeball.
Right.
So you can see all the different parts of the eyeball and all the blood vessels in there and everything. And just watching the rats swim through the eye, along with Harley just standing.
It was great. And then we've mentioned the little rat, her friend.
Yeah.
What was his name?
I can't remember what she named him.
Right.
But everybody else was calling him Ratatouille.
That's right. But he was adorable too in that movie.
He was, yes.
He needed to be protected at all costs.
He was doing his best the entire movie to make Bloodsport
not afraid.
Right, yeah. Because he could sense the good in him. Right.
When she said that, when they started going to go save the people.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that ends the movie essentially.
Pretty much, yeah. They kill Starro, and then Starro says through through the dictator that takes over after Harley kills the first.
Yeah, that's right. Because he speaks through his minions.
Yeah. Right. And Starro goes, "I was perfectly happy staring at the stars."
Or floating through the stars, something like that.
No, it's literally like.
He said staring. Oh.
Yeah, because
they found him in space.
Yeah, if you look at the scene that it shows them like finding him in space, he's literally just kind of like staring and gazing at the stars, not even because he's floating over Earth, not even that far away.
Right.
but not like swimming through space or anything.
He's just like
staring and gazing at the
just
stars.
chilling.
And then you could see he notices the spaceship, and he turns, and you can kind of they did a pretty well job at showing the emotiveness of it.
Yeah.
In that little bit, even though it was like a bad recording, you can kind of see.
Right.
He's a little like you can see the worry in Starro's like eye
Right.
that he knows that something's not right with
Right.
what's about to happen.
Right. So that ends the movie.
And then we get Amanda Waller wakes up and is like, I told you I'd make you a leader.
Right. Yeah.
Like, okay, bitch, you fucking were about to blow him up.
And then we get two end credit scenes.
Yeah.
One of them, Weasel's not dead.
Weasel survived somehow. He woke up on
the
the beach.
Coughs, wakes up, and
It's weird
walks
though.
away.
It's weird though because it doesn't like point out whether or not it's that same night, like after they leave, or if this is like he's been on the beach for however
like
fucking long, like 3 days.
3 days, just wakes up, just starts wandering off. He clearly had no idea what was going on in the first place. But and then there's a second one where not Rick Flag, Peacemaker was there. We're not really sure if he's alive or dead.
I didn't see that one.
Neither did I. Brendan told me about this one.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah.
I got notes here, of course.
All in all,
I thought it was a great movie.
So
it way better.
So here's what we should do for each movie that we review. We should give it like overall rating.
Okay, we're doing out of 10. We're doing stars.
Let's do out of 10.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this is definitely like a 7.5.
Okay.
Just because it lost that like half a point to keep it from being an 8. Just from Amanda Waller's performance.
Okay. Because
I like her character in DC, but in the Suicide Squad, it's just.
I almost feel like if her character from Suicide Squad was in the Suicide Squad,
right,
it would have been probably the perfect balance. Then.
Right, because in the first one she was a lot more ambiguous, a lot more, just kind of avant-garde. Is that the right?
I don't know what that word means.
You know what? Never mind. But she's definitely more standoffish than she is in the second one, because it just seemed like they really wanted to hit home the fact that she's a bitch. She likes being mean for no reason.
Right.
But I don't know. What else? The animation.
There are some iffy parts. There are some iffy parts with the CGI. Some parts were really, really good, like we said with the in Starro's eyes.
Yeah,
and
I mean just Starro's design in general,
right?
As CGI.
But like in the early part of it, like with the floating arms, some of it was really bad.
Yeah, and that was I mean, I feel like the way they did it, because it was so dark, you weren't supposed to see. You weren't supposed to be able to see it that much. But they did. They could have tried a little harder.
Right. And I'm glad Weasel wasn't CGI. He was like in a costume. He was kind of CGI, but it was mostly practical effects.
The like individual, that scene where he's licking the glass.
That was CGI.
That's CGI, yeah. But for them,
But when he's like the main focus in the picture, it wasn't.
Yeah.
For me, I guess I'll go with like an 8.5.
8.5.
I like this movie a lot. Definitely my favorite DC movie.
Yeah, I will
at
say.
Least, at the very least, the best DC movie. I haven't seen all of them, but the ones I have seen, this is my favorite. And this is the best. Wonder Woman's probably next. The first one, at least. I haven't seen Shazam. I've heard that one's really good too. But I haven't.
Shazam is also pretty good.
So, but definitely my favorite so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were a couple lines that we didn't go over that I thought were hilarious. The Peacemaker, obviously his name, his goal is to make peace.
Right.
But at one point he says, "I love peace. I don't care how many men, women, or children I have to kill to get it, to achieve it." Yeah. I was like, "Wow, that just."
Yeah.
How American is that?
I mean, yeah, that's like the epitome. His character reminds me a lot of Nuke.
Okay.
From
Marvel.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say the guy from The Boys. What's his name? I've never seen The Boys, so I wouldn't know. I just know there's someone in the show. Not the Patriot.
I guess Homelander. Yeah.
Homelander. Yeah.
Yeah. But Homelander is more. It's a different dynamic.
It's a different. Okay.
You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. Yeah.
Let's see. I already said if there are any red flags, I do the right thing and kill them. It's a very Harley line.
Yeah.
Like only Harley Quinn could deliver a line like that.
Yeah.
When they were trying to get disguises and King Shark wanted to go with them, but he couldn't. And he says, I would wear a disguise, a fake mustache. And he brings up a fake mustache. He's like, see, no one will figure me out.
No one knows. And then John Cena just goes, the worst disguise I've ever seen. He's so mean to Nanaue for no reason.
And then when they pulled up, again, this is another very Harley Quinn line. When they pulled up to Jotunheim and started raining, Harley says, I love the rain. It's like angels are splooging all over us. I was just like, oh my god.
Such a Harley thing.
It's a great line.
Such a Harley thing.
But yeah. So, we've kind of given our analysis, and there were a couple things you wanted to talk about. In terms of notes, because there's one overarching question I have about this movie and DCE moving forward. But if you have anything else, just kind of add on about the movie.
Right. There's a couple of things I can't remember I was supposed to come back to.
Well, soundtrack was great.
Soundtrack, yeah. The soundtrack
But it's a James Gunn movie, so we should expect as much.
Yeah. The soundtrack is always good with James Gunn.
Oh, there it is. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ah, yes. You got the vinyl.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But, that was all... James Gunn did not hold back. He killed anyone he wanted to.
Yeah.
Which we talked about when Polka Man died. I was really surprised when Rick Flag died.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Him? He was in the last movie.
He was Rick Flag in the last movie?
He was. I think he was in the first one, yeah.
I can't remember. If he was, his role was not that important.
No.
I don't know. That first movie was just so weird.
It was.
It wasn't bad, but it also wasn't that great.
Right.
It was.
Oh, I did have a note. It was a pretty diverse movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It did pretty well with diversity.
Surprisingly. Yeah. I mean, you would kind of have to taking place in
That's
a predominantly Spanish speaking country.
That's true. Well, let's talk more. I wrote this note down at the beginning of the movie, when we were first meeting all the characters and stuff like that. It was a pretty diverse movie. I mean, the last one was too, if you think about it.
I mean, yeah.
But, excuse me, jeez.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good. I said the thing about.
I'm trying to think.
Oh, me and Brian talked about this yesterday. The inclusion of the communication room, I thought was a really good addition to the movie.
Yeah. And not just hearing her.
Not just Waller.
Right. And not
just to have other characters in there, have a group dynamic working in there, and the bets that they wagered. Brennan talked about that yesterday. Hilarious. I thought that was really cool too.
I thought that whole scene of them doling out the winnings was just so.
That was great. Just the inclusion of all that added an extra layer to the movie. I thought was really good.
It made it so that this movie didn't take itself too seriously, because that was the main problem I had with the first movie. It took itself way too seriously.
The first one really tried way too hard. This one was just like, you know what?
We're gonna have fun.
Whatever fucking happens. Let's go.
We're gonna
enjoy ourselves here.
Do what it does. We're gonna make a comic book movie, and there's gonna be blood, killing. People are gonna say some stuff that's gonna be weird. It's gonna be great. And then they did a great job.
Oh yeah, James. I think Brennan said yesterday that James Gunn is going to come back to do more DC movies after Guardians of Volume 3.
That's good to know.
Right.
Because I love James Gunn.
Right.
He does such a good. I feel like the amount of freedom that he's been given recently.
Well, even other DC movies didn't get this.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, having him on it more, I feel like will push. Hopefully, it'll push DC
in the right direction.
Right. Maybe he'll be the breakout. He'll be the breakout director for. Right. Because who's the main Marvel director right now?
I don't know if there's a main director, but the head is Kevin Feige.
Well, yeah, but there's been a couple that's been the same.
I think right now Taika Waititi is the guy. I guess he's only in 2 movies. And the
Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
He's big. He did it. He did.
Sorry, he did the first 3 Iron Man movies, and I think he did. Did he do the second Avengers movie? I know he did one other movie.
I thought he did the first Avengers.
No, that was Joss Whedon.
Okay.
That's why That's why Justice League was an exact clone of that movie.
Oh, you're right.
But this begs the question: with this and the Snyder Cut, both is receiving way better scores, and reviews from audiences and critics alike. What does this movie What does this movie do for DC? Do you think they continue with or at least from the bad guy's perspective? Do you think they go through a movie like, maybe this might be connected, maybe not, who knows?
Well, I don't know,
and
because
do you think they'll go in the more direction of the grittier, gorier stuff like in this movie?
I feel like if now see, here's the thing. Mm-hmm. If they're smart, then they'll go with the same feel as the Suicide Squad and what was another one that was really good? Shazam. Because Shazam, I thought my only thing with Shazam was the story was a little wonky, but it was a an intro movie. It was this is who this hero is. This is how he got his start. And the second one is I've seen the costumes for that one.
I have too.
Already look great. I can't remember. I can't remember if Black Adam is supposed to be the villain in it.
I don't know, but he's supposed to get his own movie.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's getting his own movie.
And the director's come out and said that that they've explored.
Who is the director for that one?
I don't remember. It's in my notes from a couple podcasts ago, but she said they said that they wanted to explore Dwayne The Rock Johnson's grittier side, which is a good sign.
Yeah. Because he does really good. I feel like in like a serious role. I don't think I've ever seen him in something like super serious.
No, me neither.
I've seen him in has been a comedy, like in some form.
Yeah.
But.
How to say that? Is it Jean Colette Serra for Black Adam?
Jean Colette. Yeah.
So he said they came out and said it's the most complex puzzle of his career. And he also said, I was attracted to getting the dark version of Dwayne. So hopefully, it kind of goes in the same direction. And Brendan mentioned this yesterday, I almost feel like DC should just abandon the heroes for a little bit and focus on the villains. Because they've done a good job, at least with this one.
Yeah.
And that they prove that they can do really good ones. Plus, I think...
Also, the Joker movie, too.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Even though that's not connected, which almost is better.
Yeah.
At times.
I saw something somewhere that
everything's
Joker...
gonna be connected at some point because of the Flash movie. But
no, not even that. The Batman, the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, is supposed to have Joaquin Phoenix as a cameo in there.
Interesting.
I think it's supposed to be like a because he's not the main villain, obviously.
No,
it's somebody else.
They really just throwing Joker in everything, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. I mean, it's Batman.
I almost thought he was gonna be in this too. I'm glad he wasn't.
Me too. Yeah, I was. Half of me was expecting to see Jared Leto pop up at some point.
I don't like his Joker.
Me neither.
It's not good.
I mean,
but
he is the Joker for the universe that Harley inhabits, but he's also dead at that point. I think so. I think they do kill him. He's
in Justice League. That's all I know. The Snyder Cut.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Really?
It's just like I said, he's in everything. You just throw him in.
That's weird.
I'm sure Jared Leto's happy about it. He just keeps getting money.
He doesn't need it. He got all the money from being. Where did he even start out at? I
don't know, but he's Morbius. Whenever that movie plans on coming out.
Whenever, they want to give that to us.
I like moving a trailer for that, but not Spider-Man. Anyway, sorry, wrong tangent.
I don't even remember where we were at. Moving forward with DC,
right? And do you think they should go with the less connected stories?
I want to say yeah, but because of how fans have been reacting to the connected stories and stuff, I feel like they have no choice but to connect things in some way. At least keep the same. If you're gonna have the same characters, have the same actor at the very, very least. And if you're gonna make mention of past things, make it so. Like, good example was in this one, same Harley from this one and same Harley from the
last
other
one and Birds of Prey.
Right, and Birds of Prey, but they make mention of Harley makes the slightest mention of what happened in Birds of Prey.
Right. Hinted at, yeah.
Yeah, but it's so vague that if you've never seen it.
Well, and for someone who hasn't seen it, I thought you were talking about the Joker. From the first one.
Yeah.
From the first Suicide Squad.
Yeah. And, it made it seem like, okay, this is connected, but it could also, the way they did it was with the lack of flashback, the lack of name drop, all of that.
They kept the flashbacks contained, except for Ratcatcher, where it was flashback to her younger life, but they kept it contained within the movie.
And it made all the flashbacks they had you needed for this movie.
Right.
There were no flashbacks from another movie, from like a different storyline or something. And I feel like if they can keep doing that, then they can do whatever they want.
They gotta stop going. They gotta stop trying to go blow for blow with Marvel. They just can't be doing that.
Because Marvel has gotten to the point they've been doing it for so long.
Right. First of all, there are 23 movies and 3 TV shows at this point. Like, you're not catching.
Not to mention
focus on. They gotta focus on DC and forget what Marvel's doing.
Yeah.
Because they can't compete. They've tried.
Another
it's
thing
not working.
Is also the Marvel comics, like the actual comics, are doing a lot better than the DC comics are right now.
Right. Well, because of how well the movies are, I'm sure that helps.
Well, no, I want to say yeah.
And I do only have one DC comic.
Yeah.
And lots of
It's
Marvel.
the Batman Who Laughs.
Yeah.
I mean that one in itself. I want to see that.
I would love to.
I want to see that
James,
as a movie.
Yeah. Who should direct? I feel like a horror movie director should direct that. Not M. Night Shyamalan. We don't need him to ruin more things.
No, I don't want him to direct anything else. I saw something somewhere that said if you could put any director to any movie on purpose to make it bad, M. Night Shyamalan was always the one that people picked. And it was like somebody said have M. Night Shyamalan do a reboot of Halloween or something.
No. You know what? I think Blumhouse would do a good job with a Batman Who Laughs. They do a decent job with the Batman Who Laughs. It's hard because they're not ready. Oh, Jordan Peele. He could do Batman Who Laughs.
He could. Yeah. I feel like now. See, that's the other thing. I don't know how you do social commentary with that though. But. Yeah, if he does it. Well, the social commentary in the comic itself.
I haven't read it, clearly.
Well, you need to. Because,
I know I need to.
Let me just check this out real quick. I just want to see if this is like the whole. It's got all of it in here.
I don't know how much of it has in there, but I think there's a second one. I got a Target. It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The Suicide Squad.
But yeah, I feel like if they did in this movie what they did. If they keep doing that, then yeah, I feel like they can keep making individual movies. Because so far with the Birds of Prey, the only thing that's been connected is Harley.
Right.
Her presence being there.
I've heard that movie is also pretty good.
Yeah, I really like it. I on a quick rating for that one, we'll come back to it when I'm gonna rewatch it so we can do an episode about it. But I feel like it's a solid 6.
Okay. Nice.
Solid 6. It's not terrible. It's just some of the characters feel like if Margot Robbie had not been there,
she did save the movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
I mean, she gives the movie like 4 points by herself. But I mean, like I said, the movie's not bad. It's a mess.
Gotcha.
There's also that whole Joker being there again.
But so that's all I have to say on Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Or the Suicide Squad. You got anything else to add?
I think there was something else. There was another like talking point that I think we had.
I don't remember what it was. Was it about Jotunheim? Oh, was it about the Thinker?
I want to say yeah. I don't even remember. So many tangents.
I know.
We got to get better at that.
We'll get better. We'll be able to. Next time, I think I'm gonna write out.
Yeah.
A summary.
Okay.
So that we just read it, and then we'll be able to go off on our tangents.
Yeah.
I
don't want to read it word for word.
No.
But
That's why you do bullet points. You know, they always tell you on PowerPoints. Never read it word for word.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do. But, yeah, so that wraps up the first episode of Real Shit. If you guys like this, definitely subscribe. Hit the subscribe button wherever you're watching this. Go follow RJ and whatever he feels like giving you the thing for. At RJ Broome.
Yeah.
Whatever you can. If you type that in somewhere, follow him there.
Yeah. Pretty much
follow
everything.
me at Ship Roasting. No, and Wumble Wally on TikTok because I'm there.
Yeah, I'm on TikTok. If you...
Do you have videos?
I don't have anything.
I have
But
lots of videos.
Just send me stuff.
Yes.
I like... See, that's the thing about TikTok. I don't like making content. I like consuming the content.
I love making content. But, so follow me, Wumble Wally, and on Instagram I'll give you it. It's WLever96.
Yeah.
And yeah, subscribe to this YouTube channel and subscribe if this is on a podcast. Subscribe there, and we'll see you in the next one.
Wait, so do we want to do, like, what next episode is going to be, you know?
Do we know what it's going to be? I have no idea. Do you have an idea? If you have an idea, just go ahead and tell me.
Let's
watch
do... Oh, man. Let's do Transformers...
You know, send me a link for it.
Okay.
All right.
Wait.
Is it 1984? Is that what you said it was? Transformers 1984?
Let's do a different... I'm sorry. Let's do a different... Okay, never mind. You'll find out what the next episode is going to be when it comes out. Nice chatting.
Peace.